Greetings, I'm Ken Dickey. This is Cuis Smalltalk, and I'm just going to briefly cover how to save a small amount of change to code in the base image. And the first thing that I like to do is, after I've done a pull, go in and say install new updates. And looks like I'm up to the latest for the moment. And I'm going to do kind of a silly thing. Which is I'm just going to say I'm going to make some silly code and whatever, but just the idea of that sometimes one finds in the base image uh, something that one can improve upon or thinks is broken or whatever, and you want to like go to the Cuis Smalltalk discussion list and say, hey, I think we ought to make a change, and here it is. And so this is about the here it is stuff, since everyone owns the code and everyone's empowered to make it better. So let me just do something like take some string and try to add, say, add a point to it. And this is going to break because you can't add a string and a point. And so I'm just going to say do it. And immediately I get the debugger, which is what you expect. And the do it when I take a look back at the stack frame. So these are just the visual representation of the stack. So these are the stack frames. And you can go look at each of these is a message send to an object, and on the left here is an object, which is this string. And on the right, this is the context, and the context is a stack frame, and I can take a look at the argument. And so this is plus is the method name, and the argument is this little point, which 3 at 49, which I just made up. And really, this is a silly thing, and says, "Hey, I shouldn't do this." But since I happen to be here, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So what I want to do here is let me go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to return a value, which is going to be the string itself. And the comma means I want to go ahead and compose some strings, and so I'm going to add a space, and I'm going to then take the argument print string. Okay, and so instead, when I'm asked to add something to a string, the string is just going to put down a space and the print string of the thing that is handed. So this is a kind of silly thing to do. I really shouldn't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I'll accept that, okay, because I can make changes and code to the system. And it happens to know I'm Ken Dickey, and that means I can go ahead and puts my initials in there, and makes a new version of this thing, and I can then restart and re-execute this stack frame. So without unwinding the stack, we're going to go forward, and now if I should actually print it, and so now we get some string 3 at 49. So great. The thing is that if I now take and browse the string class, I'm just using command completion here by typing tab, and then I can select this and say browse it. So I'm browsing the string class, and I look at plus. So we can see here's the code that I changed. And since this is code in the base system, this is not in a package that I'm making. And if I want to share this code, then I need a way to to share it. And there are two ways of doing this. The simple way, well, let me just show, I guess, maybe the nice way, which is I want to open a change sorter, and the change sorter says we have something that's changed, so the plus method changed in the base class. And so I want to come up here and I want to rename here, because I basically want to put in my name, so my author initials, which Ken D for Ken Dickey, and say accept. And now I can go ahead and I can file this out. So I can either file it out and keep it, or file it out and forget the fact that I did something. I'm going to file it out and keep it in this case. So that's filed out. And if I now go ahead and open a file list and look in, here's Cuis Smalltalk Dev, and I now have a Cuis core thing, and here is the method that I just filed out. And so that's just an easy way. There's just the text for that method that then can be as a file that we can go ahead and paste and into an email message and say to the group, hey, I think this ought to change, and this is what it is. The other thing other easy thing to do is for something simple like this. If I'm making, multiple method changes and stuff, that other packaging is nice. But I can actually just go ahead and file out this particular method. And actually, if I wanted to, I could come here and I could file out the entire class. But that's not what I want to do. So again, if I open a file list, and see, I've got string plus .st and string hyphen plus .st. And so again, if I look in here, you see that I've saved that. So I can save an individual method, I can save an entire class, obviously I can save the image and so forth. But this is just a simple way of being able to share things. And again, I can quit without saving. I want to show you what this does too. So I say no, I do not want to save that. And if I come back here and bring up a new image, I'm going to get the same behavior until I do a file in. So I can go ahead and again open, where's the file list? Come up here and say take this thing in and do an install. And now when I open the workspace and say something like oh, wait a minute. Bob's your uncle plus something there, and say print it. And here we are, Bob's your uncle, 100 at 100. So there we are. That's just a simple way of making changes, getting code in and out, coming up from a scratch image every time, which is a nice thing to do, and being able to file stuff. So that's it. Just a little simple tidbit on how to write out small snippets of code so you can share them with the group and whomever. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.